Very shortly, the team are going to look ahead to the St Ledger, the final classic of the season, which is live with us on ITV. Some ways in there. Do you know how his preparation's going?
Yeah, perfect. He's freshened up since the King George, and I think if there's any horse that's going to improve going a mile 6, it would be him. His half-brother, Sealaway, stayed a mile and a half well and got better with age, and I hope Sunway can fit into that category. Ballydoyle obviously have a very strong hand. There was a little bit of chat about there isn't a massive entry, Ollie. There was only 15 left in at this stage, but they're quality horses, and I prefer to have a smaller quality field than 20 horses that aren't superstars.
Do you think it's a concern, just to extend that point, do you think it's a concern that there isn't that sort of depth in the mile and a half plus division? Obviously, breeders are now breeding a lot more precocity over sort of classic pedigrees. Does that worry you?
I think it's going the other way. I think classic pedigrees are beginning to be very well sought after because of the resale value to the likes of Australia and even Hong Kong, if they can go.
So you do see a shift coming back?
Yeah, certainly. I think if we look at the St Ledger a few years ago, in one particular renewal there was Stradivarius, Capri, Crystal Ocean, Defoe, and we're going to come round to that again. I think this year's Derby, with the winner City of Troy being such an outstanding racehorse over a variety of distances, coming back to 10 furlongs as well, is very good for the breed. And I feel breeders are aware that their more middle distance horses are more valuable in the long run than their sharp horses.
That's a really interesting insight as always. Thank you, Oisin. Good luck today.
Thanks, Ollie.
The remaining entries in the Ledger dominated by that man on the left. There are only 15. Jason, 9 of them from Ballydoyle, and you look down them, some of them won't run. Notably this week, number 10, Los Angeles, who we saw win the Voltigeur at the Ebor Festival. He goes for the Irish Champion Stakes on that weekend. What did you make, firstly, of these entries? How worried are you? And secondly, what Oisin said about how there is going to be a shift back, it's already started, to staying pedigrees, because you look at that, my goodness, we need it.
Yeah, it's got to be a slight concern early on, the first point that you make there, with Aidan having an incredibly strong hand, but he's got a whole host of those pedigrees to look forward to, hasn't he? Obviously there with Illinois, Grosvenor Square, who's absolutely zipped in, but David Manusia, who is certainly punching, is in the Ancient Wisdom. I think he wants a deluge of rain if he's going to turn up. I'm interested in what Oisin said about it turning around.
Do you feel that?
I hope so. I hope so. Maybe it's got to the point where everybody has always talked about the sale of all of our best horses abroad, and we've been talking about the Japanese and the strength that they have in those real stamina staying pedigrees. Let's hope it has turned, because we want that, don't we? We want the final classic of the season to be a ripper. But he did also point out we don't want 20 no-hopers running. Small select field if they're good horses.
We also don't want the change to staying pedigrees all to be
No.
sold abroad.
No.
Let's talk about the Betfred St Ledger as it stands.
Yeah.
Good race, bad race, disappointing race?
I don't think that we want to see good horses, whoever they're trained by, but it obviously ends up being a shame if 9 of them, 8 of them, 10 of them are Aidans, and they all come from the same stable. And of course, a fair few of theirs, they finish first or second, third in similar races, so they only know how good, if you finish behind Los Angeles, they know how good that piece of form is. It is a little bit frustrating. I think, at the moment we've got 3 or 4 of his all at the top end of the betting, haven't we? Which is a bit disappointing.
How important for Aidan to support the race? You imagine if Aidan hadn't been in there, all of a sudden it has a completely different look. So, we've got to be thankful for what we do have and hope that things are on the turn. That's most important.
And we should remember the amount of money that they do put into things. It's all right saying they've got lots of money. Well, lots of people have lots of money. The fact of the matter is, Coolmore put a lot of it into racing. They really are supporting everything. They're keeping bloodlines going. They're making those nice stallions, sires that we need for the future. It's hard to hold it against them,